Welcome back, lovely viewers. This is room 4441 once again, and we are here again with the talk show KasaNova. We had an exciting time in the last episode, and we are hoping that we are going to have the same kind of exciting time.
Definitely. You have me, definitely.
Yeah. But today we are discussing a serious matter. And before I go on to the topic, my name is Babyboomer, and
I'm L. Yeah. I'm excited. This is my first time, yeah?
Yeah, this is your first time. Yeah. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling fresh and very demure.
Yeah. Glory. Thank you for coming.
Yeah. It's a pleasure.
You're welcome. Lovely viewers, so today we are going to look at a very, I would say it's sensitive, it is not. And it is not a blame game. We are just observing things, and we are going to kind of evaluate a generation and see how well they've done for us or how badly they have done for us. So today we are going to discuss the baby boomer generation, and we are going to look at Ghana in context. Have they failed generations after them? So have they? In fact, before I go on to that, I want to define who baby boomers are.
Define it fast.
So baby boomers are basically people born between 1946 and 1964. So, fun fact, the youngest baby boomer is either 60 or is turning 60 by the end of 2024.
Okay. So like our parents or our grandparents?
They're kind of, it depends on them being stubborn or not being stubborn. Whether they decided to give birth early or not. So, and the oldest baby boomer is turning 78 or is 78.
Okay. So like grandparents.
So basically for me, a Gen Z.
You're a Gen Z?
That's
no wonder why.
My grandmother, my grandfather there. You get me?
I see.
And for him being a millennial.
Yes. The best generation.
Those are his parents. I mean, he's a late millennial, so.
What does that mean?
Maybe you were given birth to by a Generation X person,
What is Generation X?
No, the Generation X is the generation after the
baby boomers.
You are supposed to be Generation Y. They decided to give you millennials.
Yeah, because we are special.
And because it's okay, let us not drag that.
We are special.
Okay, so these baby boomers, for us to get a good picture of the kind of people we are talking about, especially those of us in Ghana. I'm going to kind of mention some names of some popular figures, mainly in politics, who are still relevant, in our...
Is there any politician that is relevant?
No, some of them are no more relevant.
Oh, okay.
You get me? That is... I mean,
they are not active.
Okay. Active. Yeah, that is what I mean by relevance. I don't mean they are not important. Yes.
Okay. Politicians are important.
Yes. Important. Just as I said, they are often the parent of the millennials. Yes. And some iconic people in this list is our own Jerry John Rollins. We have, for those who love entertainment, Grace Omabo.
Right. Okay.
We have someone like the former president of the country, Dramani. Mahama is in that squad. We have, those who are into journalism and those things. We have Mr. Kwesi Pratt. Okay. We have the likes of Kweku Bakun as well. I mean, more politics. Bawumia.
Dr.
Bawumia. The current vice president, flag bearer of
the mate who is yet to be a driver.
He is in that squad. And that man who said that the youth have heads like coconuts. There is nothing in them.
Is it a Gen Z youth or?
The Gen Z.
Okay. So he's specific. He's being specific about the generation. Okay, that's.
They are children.
We are no longer young.
No, they are children. The millennials.
Okay.
Not their grandchildren.
Right.
Yes, the youth. They said your hairs are like coconuts.
Your heads.
No, your me, I'm not a your heads. So yeah, Mr. KT Hammond. I salute you, sir. Yeah, so he is in that squad. We have someone like Albert Kandapa. We have Kwedu Banredu of blessed memory. We have this man, I like him. I have I come from Chufuprasu. Yes, I attended Chufuprasu Senior High, and I'm proud of it.
Of course.
Yes, and I happened to attend KNUST.
Okay.
Whenever I was coming from Prasu to KNUST, I used to pass in front of his mansion. Nice mansion. Nobody's living there.
Nobody's living there.
I mean, at the time I was.
Okay.
That man is a businessman.
And then these people have failed us.
Oh no, come on. This man is.
Why do you build a mansion? Why do you build a mansion and no one is living in it?
Oh, come on. It is for the family. I've sent on him. Whoever knows, I've sent on him. I'm talking about our own Kenneth. He's your namesake. Kenneth or Kennedy Japan. He also belongs to that generation.
This guy's biased.
The General Mosquito. Mr. Mosquito. Who knows the General Mosquito?
These names you are mentioned, they are triggering me.
Yeah, General Mosquito. Johnson Eziegunketia is also in that list. We have, whenever I see this man's name, my heart begins to bleed. Because I think, if I'm to judge by that man, that generation has they failed.
Which man is that? I'm interested.
Ofori-Atta.
Please, I didn't say anything. No.
I'm just saying it.
It's his heart that is burning.
It is just my opinion, though. I think financially, he has put us in a very deep hole that
I agree.
God knows when we are going to get out of that one.
I agree.
We have someone like Cletus Avoka, the Honorable Alban Badbin. We have Osechi Mensabuntu. We have Jinano Kukwa Jemai.
Who is that?
Yeah, she is currently the running mate of his former excellency.
Yes, former excellency. Okay.
Dramani Mahama.
That's good. Women in politics.
She's done a lot in education as well.
Okay.
Yes. So these are the kind of people we are talking about.
So the baby boomers. So these are prominent baby boomers.
Yes.
Are we also looking at like just the normal Ghanaian baby boomer, like the middle class?
The average Ghanaian as well.
Okay, the average Ghanaian.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean there is a metric that you should have in order to say someone has failed.
Right. Okay. Yeah. You hold a person to a standard.
Yeah, so it's actually on different aspects of our lives.
Okay.
But me, I'm very concerned about leadership and governance and in our country.
Okay.
So have they failed?
That's a very direct question. Have they failed?
Yeah. Viewers, have they failed?
Well, I mean, if I'm to give an answer, right, but not based on just opinion, but on actual metrics. So we are looking at governance, right? That's your specific context. Governance. Let me see if I have some information here that I might look at. So just the pillars of governance, or basically the main things that make up a good governing society. We have accountability.
Great.
We have transparency, effectiveness and efficiency, participation, rule of law, equity and inclusiveness, leadership, responsibility, fairness, all of these things. I mean, if we look at the metrics, these specific parameters, and we are measuring the baby boomer leadership, those who have had the opportunity to serve and to effect change and influence in such with such parameters in our society, I would say they leave a lot to be desired.
They leave a lot
to be desired because we are measuring them by standards.
Yeah.
And Isaac Newton has a certain saying that is, if if I have seen further than others, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants. So in a sense, basically, if you want to know how good a group of people have been, look at the legacy that they've left.
Okay.
So look at our situations, for instance.
Very bad. Terrible.
You know, you just have to judge by such standards, because basically they influenced our lives. They influence our present because we are their future. And so in a sense, our present has come to meet their future.
Yeah.
And the state we find ourselves in as a continent, Africa, as a nation, Ghana, and the responsibility they were given and the standard or the expectation we had for them, I can say that they have been a failed leadership group. I'm just being.
Yeah, you are being honest. I
honest
mean,
on
I
the
couldn't
matrix.
have agreed, more or less with you, Charlie. These people have failed us. We will look at, some history,
Okay.
But I know people don't like the history class, but we are going to look at.
I always liked history, actually.
And this is the generation that was born right in the struggle of Ghana for independence.
Right.
1946.
Mm-hmm.
You get me? A lot of things happened. Nkrumah was doing his mind. You get me? Yes. So 1964. I mean, 2 years after their generation kind of ended.
Yeah.
Nkrumah was also deposed.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was deposed in 1966. So you can't really look at anything in that era and pin it on them. They were somehow young. I think it's a 19-year gap.
Okay. You have a point.
They wouldn't have much impact on anything that happened in
the
that
generation before them.
Yes.
Were the ones in positions to effect change.
changes.
Okay.
So I will start from 1979.
Take us there.
That is when our own lieutenant, Jerry John Rawlings, His Excellency, took over power. He did his first coup. It did not last for a long time. I think within 1 month they transferred power to Hilal Liman, and after some few months he took it back.
He came back for his
in 1980, Rawlings again. In 1981, Rawlings once again takes power through military. We look at 82 and 1983. There were several coup attempts, so they were just fighting.
Right.
So Rawlings, led us for about 11 years.
Right.
And brought us into democracy in 1992, where we started this democracy that we were born into. Some of us were born into.
Yeah.
Yes. And from there, I mean, we've come far. We've come far to 2024. We've had Rawlings himself. We've had
J.
Kufuor. We've had by the way, J. Kufuor doesn't belong to the baby boomers. He is actually part of the late silent generation guys.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
But he had a wife who was a baby boomer, Ali Mahama. You get me? Yes. And a chunk of his ministers and MPs
were baby boomers.
They were all a lot of them. These baby boomers, I'm saying the last baby boomer is retiring this year or has retired. The last baby boomer is retiring this year or has retired. They have basically been the ones in public institutions, heading and all that.
Running things.
Whatever Nkrumah or whatever was able to leave behind, these people took over the helms of affairs. And they've been there till now. The last one of them is going to retire this year. I mean, if you don't know, Ghana, our retiring age is 60 years. When you cross 60, that is. When you are 59, you can voluntarily retire.
Okay, that's good.
60,
That's good for some of us.
So they are very significant when we are talking about governance and then the development of this country, I will give them credit for one thing. I mean, after Rawlings was able to do whatever he did and then brought us into democracy, it's like they've managed to help us keep the peace.
Okay.
We've had that political stability for some time. I mean, it's subjected to definition as to what you mean. But when I say political stability, I mean we've practiced democracy. We've not had any coup or anything for some time.
Yeah.
And this is where we are with all that stability from 92 till now. I was really, really mad and at the same time sad when Black Stars was playing some few days ago, and I mean, imagine the coach of Angola had to be like, oh, Ghana deserves better.
Yeah.
Ghanaian players deserve better pitches. Mind you, the African Champions League.
So disappointing.
The African Champions League that we play, it was our first president, Kwame Nkrumah, who donated the first cup. It was called the Osajifo Cup.
Wow.
And some quarters do say that he donated, I think, 250 guineas. It was a currency back then.
Right.
Very close to the pounds back then. To CAF, to organize this competition, he helped. You get me? So look at the pedestal we were at, and look at where we've fallen to. It is sad.
And we've had the baby boomers be in charge.
They've been in charge.
So basically, everything we are right now is a result of.
It's a result of them. Yes, their mismanagement and everything that they are doing. I mean, I applaud someone like J. Kufuor. I think he did very well.
Very well, yeah.
But
he's not a baby boomer.
He's not a baby boomer.
He's not a boomer.
I mean, quite a number of them, of his the members of his government,
his cabinet,
yes, baby boomers. You get me? And they took Ghana from a highly indebted country, and at a point in time, we were one of the, or maybe the fastest growing economy in Africa.
Yeah, they turned things around.
Yes, they did turn things around.
Yeah,
we had no oil.
Yeah,
Do you get me? In 2010, now we have oil and everything. What are we doing?
Us or the baby boomers?
As a country, it is sad. Do you get me?
Oh yeah, definitely.
But
we are trying our best too.
We are
trying our best.
But yeah, it makes me also ask this question: are we doing anything different? I mean, this time I'm going to lump two generations: the millennials and the, because I mean I can also bring the Gen X people close to the baby boomers because you know they are the ones also taking leadership positions now. Some millennials now, young people are also I don't think any millennial is really in any leadership position.
No, we started.
Yeah,
you started.
But are we doing anything different?
Are we doing anything different?
Are we not?
I mean, I think we are trying our best. We are trying our best. I believe. How do I put this? I see hope.
You see hope?
I see hope in the sense that we are gathering influence from diverse sources. Do you get it? Because most people can only reproduce what they are. And if we are a reproduction of the baby boomers, then we are in trouble. But then, Gen Z, you guys are stubborn. By default, you are stubborn. They say coconut head, right? So
we don't go by the status.
No, you are stubborn because stubbornness in context can be a good thing, right? Stubbornness in context can be a good thing because, for instance, the silent generation. What made them the silent generation is that they entered the system and worked within the system according to what they came to meet. But then from millennials onwards to Gen X to Gen Z, we are tagged as the generation that desires to change the system. Do you get it? So in that sense, I see hope in the sense that we are resisting the influence of the baby boomers. At least we are trying to. We are trying to. But there are always some people who get influenced because they benefit from the system the baby boomers have created.
Yeah. A lot.
You know. So we are different in that sense if we allow it to happen. If we allow the right change of mindset to happen. And I see especially with the young people in Africa, with the young people in Ghana these days, very informed about current affairs. Very, you know, and for instance, we have the privilege of being abroad. We get to experience this system. And then we're like, okay, why is this system the way it is? And why is the system back home the way it is? And asking these questions and looking for answers. But not just settling there, but actually saying, okay, when we do find the answers, we have to do something. We have to take action. That's the main thing. And I think that's where the difference lies. That's the whole thing. Are we going to take action or not? And of course, keep in mind, you know, Newton's this is his second law, his third law. To every action, there's an equal and opposite.
It's a third law.
It's the third law. To every action.
What your physics?
I'm trying my best. I'm trying. This particular topic is more history than
than physics.
So, you know, whenever you are trying to effect change or whenever you're trying to take an action, be prepared for resistance. You know, and are we ready to take that sacrifice? Are we ready to do what it takes to actually say, no, we must change the system? So again, I think a good attitude of the millennials and the Gen Z is just this boldness and stubbornness in terms of getting their way. And the question becomes, what is the way that we actually want?
What is the way that we actually want?
Yeah.
You watching me. What is the way that you
that's the
actually
question.
want?
Yeah.
You know, I think we've lost ourselves and we are chasing some civilization or some way of doing things we don't really understand.
Right.
And this vicious circle is really doing us a lot of harm. We can only talk about them, look back at what they've done and take lessons from them. We don't have to go the way they went. You know. Yes. Let's take the positives and build on those things. Let's understand ourselves, know what we want, and do it. So we are going to the Agora session where it is going to get personal, your personal views on,
I said I don't want to be personal. I'm being very objective.
So
I'm being very objective.
We will be right back. Welcome back, lovely viewers. This is the Agora session of the KasaNova show. And here we are just going to share our thoughts on some rapid questions from our anonymous question man. So, Mr. Anonymous, over to you. What do you have for us?
All right. So, we have a few questions, not too much. And yes, we'll be asking both of you questions. And we expect direct, short answers.
I don't want to tell me what my answer should be.
Yes, I am the one.
I don't like sharing my thoughts.
So, your first question.
To
this
whom?
goes to Errol. Okay, how would you assess the economic policies implemented by the baby boomer generation in Ghana? Do you believe these policies have set up the younger generations for success or failure?
I mean, just looking at their results, you can say their economic policies are terrible. But then again, I ask myself, is it the economic policies that are bad, or is it the implementation of the policies that are bad? So that would be my answer.
All right, thank you very much. Kobe Bedu, your question is, many people argue that the baby boomer generation has had more access to stable jobs, affordable education, and better public services. Now, do you think they have effectively ensured the same or better opportunities for younger generations? Why or why not?
That is very laughable, bro. Yeah, I can understand they inherited that. I mean, all that Nkrumah created, or whatever he did, these people came to head these institutions. And they decided to leave us with some breadcrumbs, nothing unemployment is on the high in that country. There is nothing to feed on.
There's nothing.
Yes, there is nothing.
There's
So
nothing
they've
about
really failed us woefully.
They've
when it
pillaged
comes
the country.
When it comes to
Raped
jobs
and
those
pillaged.
things, Charlie, nothing.
All right.
I agree with him. I second him.
So, Earl, looking at Ghana's current economic challenges, such as unemployment, debt, and economic inequality, how much responsibility do you attribute to the policy decisions of the baby boomer generation? Could these issues have been mitigated with better foresight?
That's a good question. Yeah. I'll attribute a whole lot of responsibility to them. You know, I think John C. Maxwell has a certain quote which says everything rises and falls on leadership. So whenever there's a problem anywhere, we run to the leaders. So I think they are responsible for a lot of course, I believe part of our problem in Ghana as a country is the mindset of just the general populace. But I still fall back to everything rises and falls on leadership. When you say better foresight, yeah, I think foresight is one of the great attributes of leadership, being able to see ahead and know what to implement in the present. So I think they've had poor foresight on a lot of their policies, and the proof is what we are experiencing. That's just it. Yeah.
Okay, Kobe, from an education perspective, do you think the baby boomer generation prioritized investments in education to adequately prepare the younger generations for a rapidly changing global economy? What could have been done differently?
When you look at the matrices, like it has been on the up, you know, the rate of educated people in Ghana has been going up. And yeah, I would say they've done quite well, but there are still schools under trees in that country. You get me? So
That's
they
true.
could have done more. And the quality of education is also another thing for us to talk about.
Yeah.
You get me? Some of us, we managed to get by. And when we had the opportunity to leave that system into another system, we learned a lot of theoretical things. With some resilience, we were able to match up wherever we got to. And Ghanaians have been doing well overall. Do you get me? So it is a bit okay, but we can do more. We can do more. They don't equip us with the things we need. It's like go to school and come and work for something.
They underutilize our brains.
Yes, they are underutilizing it. That is the truth.
It's not they don't care. They don't care.
But they've done their part. Yeah.
All right, so something very hot, these days is regarding climate change, right? And so, L,
why are you using hot things to me? Mr.
It's just a question you have.
It's just a question I have.
It's nothing personal.
All right.
So, climate change and environmental degradation are significant concerns for future generations. How would you evaluate the baby boomer generation's role in Ghana regarding environmental sustainability? Have they adequately addressed these concerns, or have they left a changing legacy?
Repeat the last part again, please.
Okay. How would you evaluate the baby boomer generation's role in Ghana regarding environmental sustainability? Have they adequately addressed these concerns, or have they left a changing legacy?
They've left nothing. Right. If I want to answer that question very bluntly, they've left nothing. Because we are in there are 4 industrial revolutions. Right. The first one had to do with, I think, steam and coal or something like that. The second one was with I can't remember. I think gas or something like that. And then we are in the third one where we are looking at internet and renewable energy. If I get it, unless I'm wrong, you can check the facts. But we are looking at renewable sources of energy. That's the current industrial revolution we find ourselves in. And what are we doing about renewable sources in Ghana? We actually don't care. Or the baby boomers don't care. They don't care. They take what is there, they use it, and they don't care about anything else. Look at the Galamsey trend, for instance. Currently, they're destroying the water bodies that we can't even afford to clean. So that water, we can't even afford, what do you call it, pure water. Now it's going to be even more expensive. So I think they've done. I think they don't care. To put it bluntly, they don't care. They don't care about the environment. They don't care about renewable sources. They just go travel abroad, sign papers, drink coffee, sleep in hotel rooms, and come back home. That's all. Matter of fact, they failed us all. Hey, God.
Alright, so Kobe, I think you will find this question very interesting. So, intergenerational equity is often discussed in terms of wealth distribution. Now, do you believe that the baby boomer generation in Ghana has hoarded wealth and opportunities, or have they created avenues for wealth creation for younger generations?
Bro, they are giving it to the girls. They've hoarded it and using it to do sugar daddy stuff. Yes, that is what I'm going to say. I mean, if you look at the baby boomer generation and the generations after them, I would even look at the millennials and then the Gen Zs. Bro, we are suffering. We are really struggling to make ends meet. There is no employment, there is nothing. Do you get me? These people have been able to make money. We talked about them being our leaders for quite a long time. Look at the amount of money they borrow in the name of all of us.
Or the resources they've had.
They are keeping all these monies and nothing is coming to us. So I would say that they've hoarded it. They are saving them in foreign bank accounts and all that, and Charlie, they've left us with nothing. So they are killing us. That is all I can say.
All right, thank you
They're
very
killing
much.
us.
So Earl, your question is, how has the baby boomer generation managed technological advancements and digital transformation in Ghana?
In Ghana.
Yes.
All right.
To ask this question.
The Internet of Things. Okay, let me use an example to give my point. I think if I remember correctly, for a while I don't know if it was senior high school. No, it wasn't senior high school. It was junior high school. When we're studying computers, we were studying computers on sheets of paper. We're looking at the windows, right, and all of that, and you go and write exams, and you have no computer in front of you to actually, because you're evaluating my skill with this tool, and I'm evaluating it on a piece of paper.
Imagine,
So
there was a question on Excel.
So to answer like, this is just that gives an indication of my answer. I think it all just comes back to they don't care. They don't care. They've done nothing with it. I mean, look at the technological advances in the West. Basically, right now we have something called the tech bros. Just have a little knowledge about working with IT, and you are done. You can make it in life.
People are making money on that industry.
In Ghana, look at where we are. We are still, I don't know. I thought they've not done anything about it. We are still in the 80s. I think if I remember, an evaluation they did was that we are a century behind the Western development. We are about a century behind the Western development.
To the West.
Yeah. And the last 100 years have literally been the advancement of technology in the West. So basically, we're now beginning at.
Maybe it won't be a fair comparison. Looking at the number of years they've had for themselves with no interruption. I mean, a lot of factors happen.
That's another discussion. That's another. Yeah. So that's my answer. That's it.
Well, thank you for your answer. Kobe Bedu. So, in terms of governance and leadership, okay, how have the actions and decisions of the baby boomer generation shaped Ghana's political landscape?
In terms of governance, I would say we chose democracy. You get me, from 92, and the very machinery that you have to create for democracy to effectively work, we are not really creating it very well. We have institutions that are supposed to, do these checks and balances to make sure that
accountability.
Yes, there is accountability and everything.
Transparency. Yeah.
So yes, we took democracy and we are only practicing elections. You're only practicing elections.
Yeah.
You know,
that one, there's a question mark on that one.
Someone wins elections today and they are thinking about the next election.
Yeah.
In fact, I think we are going to have a topic on that.
We'll talk about it.
That democracy in its form, how we are practicing it, benefiting our country.
That's a good question. We'll talk later.
So I think when you talk about governance and those things, they've just borrowed something and they are almost to Basa, and whichever part that will suit them for them to steal money and that is what they are doing.
Is this the baby boomers you are referring to? Okay.
Bro, we are talking about the baby boomers.
The baby boomers.
Yes. And the children that they've left. Political
their legacy. Okay. Their political legacy. Do you know some of them personally? It's like,
I don't know any of them. I'm talking about people following them. I'm not talking about biological children as in children. Do you get me? People who have them as mentors and all that. we are all here. We are all here. It's good.
Yeah, it's a personal question.
That is my.
Well, we are on to our last two questions. Okay, we're on to our last final questions. So Errol, could you kindly explain to us the cultural attitudes and traditional values, okay, that these baby boomers have had, right, during their time? How do you think their cultural attitudes and traditional values, how have they shaped the social and economic expectations of millennials and Gen Zs in Ghana?
Right. I think their cultural their belief system, what they've held on to, has been absolutely useless for us, because they have preserved some aspects of our culture, but it's just not helped us. You get it? For instance, one cultural that I think they've mixed in with politics is that certain ethnic groups belong to a particular political party, and I don't get that. I've never understood it. Yes, it. And then other aspects of our culture that they hold on to, because a culture is only relevant as much as it's beneficial to its people. So I think they've held on to things that are not beneficial to us, and we've actually lost our identity a lot. If you ask me, I think we've actually lost the good aspects of our cultural identity. We've held on to the ones that absolutely do not help us in any way. So it's, for the baby boomers anyway. As for Gen Z, they were in trouble. We don't even know our culture. Hey, I said they don't even know their culture.
All right, and I think this last question wraps it all up. So, Kobe, if we are to reflect on Ghana's future, what lessons should the younger generations learn from the successes and failures of the baby boomer generation to ensure sustainable development and progress for the country?
I think we've come far, do you get me? And wherever you were born, do you get me? If you were born into a certain environment, growth can be seamless and easy. In others, it is going to be difficult. But at the end of the day, growth is what we are looking for. And once your father was a drunkard or a woman abuser,
hypothetically speaking,
yes, doesn't mean you have to also be. You get it. There is the possibility that it is going to have an influence on you, but you have to grow out of it. You get me? So I think we can only look at some positives, just like I mentioned. There's been some periods where they did some positive stuff. Do you get me? Can look at those positives and then try to encourage ourselves.
Build on it,
build on those things. Forget about the negatives.
Forget about them.
Not forget. Have them in mind and make them, the red flags that we are not supposed to get close to.
Definitely.
Yes. So that is all I can say.
We love you, baby boomers.
Well, that concludes our Agora sessions. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Anonymous. This was a very good session. Bro, I like your thoughts,
Thank you. I like yours as well.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like we've been harsh.
Yeah, we've not been harsh. You just have to step on their necks.
Alright.
If they are not, yes, step on them.
I think nobody has held them.
Stepping on on them, you have to remember that another generation is waiting to step
Yeah,
on the next.
yeah, that's
so we
true.
have to do what is right.
That's true.
You
I feel
get-
like all we've done is just held them accountable.
yes.
To an extent.
Yes, and we have to start holding ourselves accountable.
Definitely.
Yes, those of us who think Ghana need that, like, I'm not the one going to change the destinies of Ghana, you better think about it again.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, some of us have traveled and all that. Others are looking to Japan from the continent. No matter, we've seen one or two things. No matter how you establish yourself in the Western world, bro, when it comes to Jack, you know that you're not from here.
That's true.
A lot of things are happening.
That's definitely true.
They don't always tell you what happens. How do they say it in Ghana? Travel and see. And there is something that we also say that do you get
Yeah.
it? Whatever we are encountering
Abroad,
as we travel,
yeah.
we can't give account of all of them. Some of them are very painful. So it is in our best interest to do the best for our continent. So yeah, I'm going to leave it here. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. We are going to give you banger to banger, part to part content. Do you get me? So please subscribe. We like your vibe, and we know you love our vibe. So let us build this channel together.
How can you not love our vibe?
They have to. It is obligatory. Do you get me? Yes. Click on the post notification as well, and also share the link.
Share.
All right.
Partage.
Bro, thank you for
Partage.
coming. Audience, we say au revoir to
Don't
you
forget
all.
subscribe.
Bye bye.